Everybody's talking about week 4 here in college football, getting ready for those picks in the NFL, Major League Baseball pennant races. Don't remind me how my New York Mets blew yet another game here today, but forget about all that because we're going to have our own WrestlePalooza here with a man who, let's just say, is most certainly replaced that guy who everybody used to say, Goldberg, Goldberg. But he hasn't quite been on that run that Goldberg famously had back in 1997 and 1998. He's going to tell us why. He's going to tell us what's next here for him in the world of BYCW. And what about that police report that was filed? And what about what happened with Brett Anderson? And just, I'm going to talk about that. Plus, I'll bring up some usual names. Dalton Skull, who's going to be back on here. How about that guy, James Taylor? You can't never say never when it comes to James Taylor. There can't be no other way without mentioning James Taylor. He is, after all, the BYCW undisputed champion. I may have to remind our guest about Blackheart because he certainly might be feeling a little black and blue when it came to what Blackheart just did to him on BYCW TV. Plus, who knows whatever else. Plus, our guest has a major announcement. I've got something I'm going to open up here on the air live, which I think one person in our chat specifically is going to be very curious about. Boy, I can't wait, and I'm excited to be back here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters, and the platform that our guest in BYCW most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio to the tune of nearly 1,600 subscribers. But you know the drill, and in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, because I see our chat is here, our guest is waiting, and he's basically live right outside the BYCW arena, ready to go into action. So let's also go into action and start this night off and continue those summer vibes here on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with right further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one, Global Sports Show. A man that has been a former BYCW Intercontinental Champion, and a man that has been at the forefront of BYCW's rapid growth over the past year. He may call himself a silent assassin, but I'm going to start by simply introducing him because his name is simply put the Silent Assassin. Austin Edwards. Austin. And there can't be no other way. My friend, how are we doing?
I am doing good. I'm doing, doing all right.
You doing all right? You sure? Because it's been a tough time for you here in BYCW since your last appearance here on Sportswire Radio, sir.
It sure has. I went after the hardcore champion, Blackheart, who I thought I was gonna beat, but sadly I let the fans of BYCW down. I let my fans down
But
And
you mean to say you let the BYCW fans down? No, the fans love you. I mean, listen, you went up against Blackheart. I mean, that's a guy that I wouldn't want no part of, on my best day even.
I was trying my best to get that title from him. I even used a rock to try to
Well, you might have tried rock, paper, scissors. Maybe you would have had better luck there. But I mean, listen, I mean, unfortunately, that's the way the ball bounces. And it's been a tough time for you in BYCW of late. And I'll get to that. But I have to ask you this question because this happened more or less right after we last saw you. And I want to get your perspective on this, especially for the guys in the BYCW locker room and those here in the chat, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform, you, the silent assassin, Austin Edwards, and BYCW most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio. What's up with that police report that was filed and everything that just went down with one Brett Anderson, and it all started over baseball cards?
That's what I thought was crazy too. Because as I was seeing it, because I left right after my match. I don't know, like like to me it's still crazy. Like as you can see it right there,
Yeah.
nobody knew what was going on.
I haven't seen this before. There's been a lot I've seen in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit in the last 3 years. As a matter of fact, in the independent wrestling circuit that I've seen throughout the world in 5 years covering that. And I don't know if I've seen anything like this before, Austin Edwards.
I've never seen anything like this myself.
It was just dark and dreary. And I mean, this was just, listen, tread very lightly. I mean, we saw looked like a knife being, brandished. And I mean, we saw Will Jackson, a man who defeated you not too long ago, and Dalton's there. Just, I mean, it's crazy. Brett Anderson, again, we know it all started over baseball cards. And I mean, Brett Anderson seems like he's seen a ghost. I mean, boy, that was a long drive, I'm sure, for him back to Virginia. And just, I mean, just really scary. And just, to quote DMX, it seemed like it was dark as hell. It's hot when it came to what we just saw.
Well, Brett, I do want to say this. I will be praying for you. Hopefully you'll be all right.
Do you think Brett's going to even want to come back to BYCW after this? Because it's almost like, I mean, he's got to be terrified. I mean, this is just, I wouldn't want to wish this on my worst enemy. I mean, Brett Anderson could have been stabbed and he could have been killed. He could have been killed. This poor, he's been on this show before. He's a friend. He's a friend of the show. And to see what happened here, Austin Edwards, I know we're going to get to you, but I have to bring this up because everybody's talking about this.
I even, like, right after, like, not right after, but the day or say after, I made sure, I asked Brett, I was like, are you okay? He goes, he texted me, he goes, I don't know. After that, I don't know. Because even he's still shocked about it. Everybody in BYCW is shocked about it.
I know. You know what? And I couldn't blame Brett Anderson if he didn't want to come back to BYCW after this, because this is something, listen, I mean, I've been through a couple of things not quite like this in real life, but I've had some, interesting experiences out there, but I wouldn't want to wish this on anybody. And I mean, just, I would hope that our general manager gets to the bottom of this and at the very least, make sure that BYCW has safe working conditions, because, I mean, it should be for everybody in their best interest to work in an environment that's safe.
Yes.
And things like this don't happen on a regular basis.
No. Usually we usually have a good time, but it was something else.
This is just bizarre. I mean, this is just truly bizarre. And ladies and gentlemen, this is from the BYCW Instagram page. We'll be putting up BYCW links up here shortly, but this is the actual police report. And we know that this took place, it was on September 6th. That was 2 weeks from today. That was 2 weeks ago. And it was at 5:30 p.m. We know that a man dressed in all black came and started attacking Brett Anderson here, about Williams. But I mean, Anderson, Williams is his real name, during a wrestling event. the man pulled out a knife and pointed at several people, which we saw the likes of Will Jackson, the likes of Dalton Scullin, and we have the information. This report was also filed on a Monday, which makes sense because we know if you're going to go to the police station, you got to file these things during business hours. That was a Monday. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured. Thankfully, there was nothing serious, but just this is very scary. This is, there's been a lot that has been said here in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, but this just takes it, certainly to a whole new level. And we're praying for Brett Anderson, certainly hoping he's okay, hoping that he can continue his career as an in-ring competitor for BYCW. And obviously, if you're out there, our general manager here in BYCW, I mean, Chase Sullivan, you may have to do your job. And I have to ask you about this. And I mean, this was also brought up on Instagram, and the clock is ticking, and we got your wish here. And I mean, not to put you in the crosshairs of that, but it seems like we've got somebody who's got that clock ticking. It can be for anybody. We just don't know. We just don't know, Austin Edwards.
No.
It's just scary times. And please, even counting down to, there's a countdown, and I don't know what that countdown's for, but I do know that if you want to follow BYCW, please support BYCW. I cannot stress enough about the importance of supporting BYCW, supporting the likes of Austin Edwards, so we don't have things like this happen like we just saw with Brett Anderson. Just really scary times. I know, Austin, this is even more shocking because what has happened in the world these last few weeks, and I don't want to get into that because people are just, people are still, my mother's sad about it. People are sad about it. We're just thankful that Brett Anderson wasn't another Charlie Kirk or just that poor woman in Charlotte. Just thank God that Brett Anderson didn't join those people, regardless of whatever that circumstance may be. And I'm glad that Brett Anderson is safe and he's okay. And I hope that he does come back to the BYCW arena and compete. That's all I could say, Austin Edwards,
Yes, sir. I'm not.
Good. But, I got to talk with you because, usually we're talking about big things with you, big plans ahead. And I don't know what your future is. Usually we're coming on here, we're talking about you in an Intercontinental title match. We're talking about you and, getting gold, calling out people. And I'm sure you'll do some of that. But it just doesn't feel the same right now. I mean, Will Jackson beat you not too long ago. I'm putting the match up with Blackheart. And, I have to ask, what is the future for Austin Edwards right now?
To be honest, Tom, I really don't know. I really don't, because I am going to be honest with you. I truly don't know, seriously, how much time I even have, because, the way it's going, it's just too much to say right now.
What? Wait. Are you trying to tell us something that you don't know about your future as an in-ring competitor? Did I just hear something about that for the audience, that your future, it seems like, might be in doubt? Did I miss something there?
Oh, you did not miss a word, Mr. Tom. As you and the people hear it going now, I don't know how much time I have, but the way my body is going, it's getting worse throughout the day. Right now, I'm sitting here fighting back the tears, fighting back the pain that I'm holding. I go out there each and every week, fighting my heart out, and still, I may come out on top, I may stay down, but the point of the matter of this talk is my body is slowly decreasing on me.
Well, that's not the news that we had hoped to hear tonight. We had thought, all right, Austin Edwards, big announcement. He's getting married. He's going to talk about the baby. He's going to talk about big things ahead. We know how much you've talked about your family and how they've meant to you and how you fight for them in the past. But it seems to me like, and we know your struggles that you deal with outside the ring. And it sounds like to me that you're struggling with some inner demons, and Father Time might well be, well, your clock, figuratively and literally, very well might be ticking to steal something we just showed here on this screen before. That's what it sounds like to me right now.
Yes, that is true because it hurts. It hurts going out there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Twist your arm a little bit, but
You could twist my arm, I would tap out.
yeah, the, I'm gonna go out there. However much time I have, whether it be now, whether it be later on down the road, I'm gonna give y'all the fight that I have always given y'all, no matter what.
Well,
But
I got to ask a question, because you've talked about you don't know how much time you have left. You've talked about the pain you're in. We also know about your struggles outside the ring. I mean, is there a set amount of matches you have left in your career? Is there an expected date that your in-ring career is going to head? We know that when Dalton Skull, a man you've got quite a history with, a man that you've defeated in the past, and a man you've had many battles with over the past year, he's talked about that his in-ring career is winding down. He's going to retire from the ring very soon. As a matter of fact, within the next several months, his career is over. And we know that that's going to happen. He said that on this platform. But for you, Austin Edwards, is there a date that you've said, you know what, this is when my in-ring career is going to end, or this is how many matches I have left? I mean, is that something you've come to a decision on?
I'm going to probably give you an estimate on it. I'm gonna give you and the people an estimate date on when I will possibly, which I probably will. It's still in the talks, but I'm going to give myself December of 2025. And the reason behind that is because I would like to heal my body up, and I want to start being that lovingly father that I can be for my child. It, it makes me upset being on the road and not seeing my fiance or seeing my little girl next to me. So I'm going to give myself at least a few months to heal my body and to be there for my family.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's a heavy thing that we just heard. In that the silent assassin Austin Edwards is giving himself until December to where he's going to exit stage left and move on with his beautiful growing family. And that's where his mind is going. And I know it's been a struggle here in BYCW, and we want to see Austin Edwards to continue to be the in-ring competitor that he has become over the past year. And it's guys like him that I root for, especially me being all Wrestling Matters. And Austin Edwards is one of those guys that you just want to root for. But this is bigger than the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. And Austin Edwards has to be there for his beautiful fiance and his baby and his daughter. And unfortunately, well, the clock is ticking on Austin Edwards' in-ring career. And that's obviously something that, well, there can't be no other way, because Austin Edwards, you have to go out there and be the father, the best father that you can be. And I think everybody would support that decision, whether it's friend or foe, 1,000%.
Yes. Now, I am going to say this. If I do decide to come back, just know that the silent assassin will always have his ravens on the lookout.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, join me in Austin, 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 Austin. Thank you, 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 Austin. Austin, 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 Austin. Thank you, Austin, 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 Austin. Thank you, Austin. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do for us.
Welcome.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you. And I know that your competitors, those that are fans of yours, are behind you on this 1,000%. I know it's been tough of late to see you struggle in the ring, but we know how much you fought to get out there with everything you've been dealt with in your life, just to go out there and be an in-ring competitor. And I have to ask you, Austin, because there's people here in the chat that want to talk to you, and people are certainly, I mean, this was a decision that a lot of people, I'm sure, are going to be certainly taken aback by. But is there a possibility that maybe you change your mind? You know, maybe you spend time with the missus, you spend time with your daughter, and after a few months, and I don't know when that could be in 2026 or maybe beyond that, that maybe you change your mind and want to go out there one or two more times. Because, you know, James Taylor is the BYCW undisputed champion. He's 41 years old, and he's wrestling today in the state of Mississippi. I mean, the Underground OG, Darkron's the All Wrestling Matters champion. He's older than James Taylor. These guys are going out there, and they're continuing. I mean, is there a possibility that you could come back and become an in-ring competitor again?
There might be a possibility, but when I do, like I said, y'all have heard it before.
I know.
But like I said, I don't know if there will be a possibility or not. But you know, I want to get my mind right. I want to spend time with my missus, spend time with my little girl. But when I do, I'm pretty sure that it will be a shock to the backyard, because we already know especially how I am, I can do things crazy. Hell, I even gave Blackheart a spear jumping from another ring.
I know you. I mean, listen, I have the match up here. We'll get to the chat in a minute. We'll play out the match and, you know, get to a few comments and obviously give you something as well. But yeah, I mean, you went to war with Blackheart. There's no question that you certainly are going to go out there and give it everything you've got. But I would imagine then we're going to see you still out there between now and the next couple of months, because right now it's September 20th, which would on my calendar show that you've got a couple of more months. So I would imagine that we'll see you in BYCW at least for a little while longer in the ring. Like, this is not going to be your last match, I would hope.
No. You see,
You were a fighter. You were a fighter. I know that going up against Blackheart is not easy. And this is a man that he has shown that he is definitely the hardcore champion for a reason, but you are also a fighter. You have fought through everything in your life to be here, to be a BYCW superstar, to be one of the very best in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. And you will not go out quietly, and you will figuratively and literally go out there and swinging. And I know how much this means to you to be out there as an in-ring competitor. And, you know, all I can say is that we're going to still see you at least between now and December. And just, oh my God, look at that jump. I mean, listen, Austin Edwards is he's just giving it everything he's got here. This is why you've got to support Austin Edwards here. You've got to support him on Instagram. You've got to support BYCW on YouTube and Instagram, because there can't be no other way, because Austin Edwards is fighting. He fights through every single day in his life to wake up and to be an in-ring competitor. Every day he fights to go out there and provide for his beautiful fiance and his daughter. And this is why it's All Wrestling Matters. And this is why Austin Edwards is still going to go out there and give it until he can't give it no more. And that's why you should support him. And we're watching this match. And I know the man you wrestled last is here in the chat. I've got a couple of things also that I want to get to. I want to give to you. I've got to open something up here, but just you're quite a fighter. And I hope for your sake, Austin Edwards, maybe you get one more championship here in BYCW. I don't know if it's Blackheart, but maybe, Austin Edwards, it would be so fitting to see you and James Taylor go out there maybe in the ring for that BYCW Undisputed Championship. We know that the Nemesis is going out there and fighting in Omega Championship Wrestling, representing BYCW. And I think it would be so fitting that you and James Taylor would go out there for that BYCW Undisputed Championship. I don't quite know if this is a John Cena-like farewell tour for you, Austin Edwards, but what a way for your career if this is going to be the swan song in December. If you could go out there and wrestle James Taylor for that Undisputed Championship and also the PWF Uprising Championship, and to go out there and potentially win those championships from James Taylor and to go out on top as a world heavyweight champion, I think that would be one of the greatest stories, maybe not just in BYCW, but in wrestling history. Is that something that you want maybe? And that's the way to write the storybook ending for your amazing journey to be here as an in-ring competitor?
Tom, that would be, but I don't know, because the way I see it, I don't know if the undisputed champion is going to come back. He might come back for to talk a little bit, but I don't know if he wants to step up with the assassin Austin Edwards.
That's a great point, because I don't know what James Taylor would be thinking about the BYCW Undisputed Championship, because it is a drastically changed BYCW landscape. And now that you've announced that your in-ring career is coming to an end, what a better way to end your career by winning that BYCW Championship. Blackheart, we've seen what he's done. I mean, Dalton still wants James Taylor one more time. And I think those are reasons why you need to follow BYCW on Instagram and keep up to date with all things related to BYCW. As the announcement here is Austin Edwards, the Silent Assassin, for now, is ending his in-ring career as an active competitor come the end of this year, December 2025. It remains to be seen who he'll wrestle, who could be his final opponent. And I think, Austin, the final opponent of your career should be James Taylor for that BYCW Undisputed Championship. I think it would be one of the greatest stories ever written in wrestling history if you could go out on top as a world champion. That's what I think, and I would love to see it. And I think your fans, I think the BYCW fans, I think the Sportswire fans, the underground, the backyard wrestling circuit would love to see Austin Edwards and James Taylor go out there at least for that BYCW Undisputed Championship. And I think, Austin, that would be the perfect way for you to go. That's just what I think. If this is truly going to be the end of your just amazing journey to get here in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit.
I think that too, Tom, but whether
and you've wanted Taylor for months. You have been on this platform multiple times. You have repeatedly called out James Taylor and wanted to wrestle him. That was before he became the world champion, since he's become the world champion. So that is something that I know you've long wanted.
Right. That is something I've always wanted. I've always wanted the world title, but it's going to be a tough challenge. I know James, he has a lot of experience, way more than I ever have.
But you've wrestled a lot more than him in the BYCW arena, and that's maybe where you could use that to your advantage. And on top of that, maybe because you know that this is the end of your in-ring career for now, this could motivate you like nobody else. Devin Adams on Monday's show talked about the farewell tour he's on in the promo wrestling circuit on Instagram. And now you have concluded this week pretty much and said the same things. And we have Riley Bates on tomorrow from LBYW, who we know that LBYW, their company is coming to an end in a month as an active company, and Riley Bates' in-ring career comes to an end potentially soon as well after that. And I think guys are coming toward that decision, grips with it. And Austin Edwards, I just think the perfect send-off would be for you to go out there and wrestle James Taylor, because I think there can't be no other way. But if you all also are here on Sportswire Radio, hit the sub button for my YouTube channel, my old one, because we're also on here. We want to boost those subs, not just for BYCW, but for me at the Ring Fever 5786 Austin. There's a lot of people that want to talk to you emotionally about this announcement. So let's get to some people here in the chat. Plus, I want to give you something, because you just have meant so much to this circuit. You have meant so much to BYCW. Thank you, Zilla, for being here. The Enforcer's in the house. And I got something for the Enforcer here in a few minutes. The IMF Hardcore Champion, of course, the legendary Ox McCoy. Thank you, Zilla. Thank you for that. Want to say hello to our friends here in the great state of Ohio. Those Cleveland Guardians certainly seem to be one step closer to making the postseason again, while my New York Mets can't figure it out. But Hugh B. Jenkins, thankfully, has figured out to come back to Sportswire Radio. Thank you for that. Thank you, Zilla. And you've got a big fan to be here and say, I think you know what this is. Austin. Yeah, it's a special one there for you. Ready to see Austin Edwards continue to dominate in BYCW. You know what? I know it's been a struggle of late, but I have a feeling between now and the end of this year, this is going to be the thing that motivates you and gives you the springboard to have one more chapter here to send you off on this amazing journey that you've had here in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, and especially in BYCW. I believe it. Thank you. Speaking of people, by the way, a man that you've seen in BYCW, the hit marker ATK, and now he's in the state of Pennsylvania, back home, wrestling in YBW. Next weekend, he wrestles Dominic for their championship. And I was curious, what's your thoughts on the hit marker ATK, and would you want to see him back in BYCW? And could this be potentially maybe one of your final in-ring opponents?
It could be, there's a few guesses out there, I would love to actually have my final match with. ATK is one of them.
Yeah, he's been in YB, he's back in YBW, but we saw him in BYCW earlier this year, and that might have been the thing to propel a lot of people to say, you know what, maybe ATK should get another crack out there, and he's back home, and he came on here, and I think he had a lot to say, and I know he'll be back on at some point soon, and he's definitely on the list of potential final opponents for you. I think Dalton Skull could be one potentially. We know Dalton's career is coming to an end soon as an in-ring competitor. I certainly mentioned James Taylor. You've got a score to settle with Blackheart. I mean, there's a lot of people that could be that final opponent. I mean, there really could be. Just not the person that tried to kill Brett Anderson should be that final opponent. Yeah, that was a funny one. At least we could share a laugh on that for now. I want to say hello to next Saturday's guest, the Bitcoin billionaire himself, Chase Wakefield, who beat you to it. He's a married man. He beat you to being married. And maybe you've got the edge over him on having kids. I don't know if Chase is going to be a baby daddy yet, but right now he's married. He'll talk about that. He'll talk about his own Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational here next weekend in your chair next Saturday. Very excited to see Chase and talk about VTW, DBW, and of course, the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational. How is everybody doing tonight? Everybody else is ready to see what's next for Austin Edwards. I completely agree. Thank you for that. And if you are here, hit the sub button for me at Sportswire Radio 6579. Hit the sub button also at the Ring Fever 5786. My buddy, Mr. Eddie Pizzo, was in the house. Eddie's always watching. Eddie has got us some Airshot gaming coverage here in 2 weeks. Austin, when your in-ring career ends in a couple of months, for now, it seems maybe you can go into the Airshot gaming industry. Who knows? I mean, the Silent Assassin, Airshot gaming, it sounds like a perfect strategy. Could be a perfect replacement for going on the road. You don't have to travel on the road, and you can still do what you do best, just doing it as an Airshot gamer. I mean, who knows? Yeah, who knows? Thank you, Eddie. Follow BYCW on Instagram. Is Brett Anderson okay? Well, we showed you the story. A man that we don't know about, who's unnamed with a mask, threatened Brett Anderson with a knife and attacked him somewhat. And it was over baseball cards and just other things, just really scary stuff, Zilla. And please, if you see that person, call the Tennessee authorities, and please, please don't try to come close to that person because he is definitely carrying, at the very least, a knife and could be other objects. So be very, very careful, especially around the BYCW arena. Please hit the follow button for Austin Edwards on Instagram. We would appreciate that. And the man that you last wrestled would like to say all respect to Austin Edwards and all respect to Dalton Skull. But hey, it would be my honor to put you two in retirement. Blackheart is basically volunteering. He would like to be your final opponent.
Blackheart. We have won and won. I've won and you have won. But see, whenever you won, you decided to use the black veil against me. You decided to have your partner, Southern Viking,
A man you've got history with. You've got a lot of history with him, and that's why he did that.
hit me with a belt. And you know, Mr. Tom,
Yes, sir.
I was gonna make this announcement last, but since I see that Mr. Blackheart there,
Oh, he's here tonight. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot to say tonight.
I hope, Blackheart, that you and the Black Veil will be watching because, see, I was gonna make this announcement last. This was gonna be a very surprisingly announcement. As y'all seen, Dalton Skull, Brett Anderson, and Will Jackson, they was talking. Well, I got a call asking if I was wanting to be in something very big in the future. But that is not me to spoil what's in that future. You will find out sooner or later what I mean. Y'all will soon find out.
Oh. Oh my God, Austin Edwards. Well, he may be nearing the end of his in-ring career, but he's not, by any stretch of the imagination, going out quietly, and that's going to mean bad news for the likes of Southern Viking and most certainly Blackheart and anybody else that gets in his way. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, he is the silent assassin, and that's why I have no doubt he's still got plenty to say. And yeah, I got Austin Edwards any day of the week over Roman Reigns. Yeah, I'm betting on Austin Edwards to beat Roman Reigns. That's for sure. And absolutely, in exclamation points, Austin Edwards. You better believe it. James Taylor is a fake champion. Wow. The hardcore champion sparing no love for the nemesis. And Blackheart, I'll tell you what, Blackheart, the run he's on right now, I don't know if James Taylor, 41-year-old James Taylor, could hang with Blackheart. That's a good point. I don't know. You know James will be back on Sportswire next month. You know he's going to be talking about this, but that's a very, very valid point. Could James Taylor hang with Blackheart? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, a lot of people are wondering, what is the future of James Taylor and BYCW? Could it be Austin Edwards? Could it be Blackheart? Could it be Dalton Skull? Who knows? This time, one-on-one. Stay tuned. Yes, thank you, Austin. Thank you for everything you've done for our community. Thank you for everything you've done for BYCW and wrestling and just inspiring people. And yes, he is still the hardcore champion, but are you the winner of Cash and Crash? Well, that's a good point. Good point. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. I would rather see Austin Edwards as the undisputed champion instead of James Taylor. And that's a good point, too, because it's quite a story to be written. You know, very few people go out on top. Michael Jordan had that story, but decided to come back to the Washington Wizards. John Elway got it right in the NFL. Peyton Manning got it right in the NFL, although he really didn't play well in that Super Bowl. But very few people go out on top. Flair had the perfect send-off, but kept ruining it. Shawn Michaels had the send-off. He came back. So many people in our sport, or in sports in general, have that perfect send-off. But could Austin Edwards be that guy to truly have it? You know you'd love to see it. That's why you got to hit the sub button for BYCW. Please support BYCW. I can't stress that enough. Agreed. You were all great competitors. Absolutely. All wrestling matters. Hit the sub button for me if you're out there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate you. And yes, we love Austin. Things are about to change for everyone in BYCW and for the Black Veil. And you made that announcement. And I got something for you, Austin Edwards, because I know that your career may be coming to an end, but I'm going to do my best tonight to honor you because it's Austin Edwards Day. Congratulations. I know you've had this before and you've had honors, but I want to continue to honor you and thank you for everything that you've done. And congratulations. It's your day because I have no doubt that the best is yet to come because you've got plenty left and you're amazing in-ring career and your journey to get here. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I got something here that I got to get off my chest before we get to final words from you. I know, obviously, just a lot to digest, but I have received a package here. This person gave me a package. Now, this package is obviously something I've received. I hope it's not from that masked man that tried to nearly kill Brett Anderson. I am hoping that this is not that, but I must open this package, and I've been instructed to open it. So, Austin, if you allow me to open this package and show it for our audience, especially here live in prime time on the brightest light, the biggest stage, the platform that you, my friend, have certainly been a part of. So I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. Package. Smells okay. Not nuclear, no bombs.
Let's say you might want to check it first. Make sure it's okay.
One. All right, we're going. We got it.
Close my eyes.
Well,
Turn around.
Smells okay. It smells okay. Doesn't smell like a bomb. Not going to be detonated. And okay, I got this. And wait a minute. First of all, I know who this is. That's Kato. That's the controversial one. Kato and Naomi Nightmare. And they were in the ring with, Ox McCoy, the enforcer of Sportswire Radio. And this is not just that. But, we got more things from Kato. This is just the beginning. And apparently, he's giving us this. And boy, this is a slew of people. And I noticed it's not Ox McCoy on here, but nevertheless, thank you, Kato, for this. And we've got one from Naomi. Boy, they say everything comes in twos, and even this. And how about this, ladies and gentlemen? I have a note from Kato before I get to more things here. This is what I want to read off from Kato. To Tom, the voice that makes Sportswire Radio the best. Thank you for all the support. Much love, Kato and Naomi Nightmare. And wow, what a nice little card there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if I can show it here for the chat. How very nice. That was very nice. Very nice. Kato, who, by the way, is in Carnage Cup, who's going to be wrestling in the Carnage Cup, but against this guy, Madman Pondo, a legend in hardcore and deathmatch wrestling. He thinks that much of us to write. What a nice card. What a nice gesture. Kato's a guy that, he goes out there and nearly kills his opponents. Just ask Ox McCoy. Just ask Jimmy Controversy. But took the time to write. What a beautiful card. God bless you, Kato and Naomi. Thank you for this really, really nice card. And I kind of needed this after watching my New York Mets lose today. But we're not done. No, we're not done. And we got this. How about this? A Kato trading card. How about that? Boy, that's impressive. Austin Edwards. I guess there can't be no other way. We got this nice little thing. And this is why you got to follow Kato. This is why you got to follow Naomi. Just an amazing, what a gesture here. Boy, Ox McCoy may be the enforcer of Sportswire Radio, but I think Kato is definitely the hardcore one of Sportswire Radio. That's for sure. We're calling Kato the hardcore one of Sportswire Radio, and there he is. Go follow him on Instagram. And the Hall Monitor, the Hall of Fame monitor of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Justin Parsley is here, and I hope that he saw this, and he's shared a locker room with Kato, and he's seen Kato bleed real, and his blood is real. And please follow Kato and please support him. And just, what a nice gesture. And thank you, Kato. Thank you for all that you've done for wrestling. Thank you for all that you've done for building sports. Thank you, Naomi, for all that you've done for our community. Thank you for making a difference and putting your bodies out there each and every day on a day in and day basis. And please follow them. Please support them. And thank you very much for that kind gesture. Boy, Austin Edwards, what a nice gesture. Boy, I was kind of feeling down a little bit before we came on the air, but that'll lift my spirits and hopefully lift yours a little bit. And, that was fun. That was nice. Thank you, Cato. And, obviously we spoke a lot. You certainly dropped a bombshell. You dropped another bombshell that you're still not done with the Black Veil and certainly Blackheart. But is there anything else you want to get off your chest here before maybe we get to closing thoughts?
You see, I don't know. Like I said, I told y'all before, December 2025 will be my final year. Whether it be ATK, whether it be Blackheart, whether it be the man who almost.
How about Brett Anderson, even, who's here on Sportswire? I hope he's doing okay, by the way.
What up, Brett? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. I hope you're doing safe. I hope you're safe, and hopefully you don't get that, masked man come and attack you. But yeah, you could add him maybe as a potential fight. Yes, definitely look around, please, because I got to remind you, Austin Edwards, Sunday on Sportswire Radio, we had the Real Deal Eclipse on from Arkansas, not too far from you, and he thought the pizza guy was on the door, and what wound up happening instead was a bunch of masked men. They beat the heck out of him, and they took almost everything away from him, and they had the possession of his World Heavyweight Championship. So you might want to look around here around this time of year.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Good. You do that. But yeah, obviously you talked about, potential final opponents, Blackheart, maybe ATK, could add Brett Anderson, and maybe that other guy who's a world champion. I think we spoke about him a lot.
Or it could be the man who almost broke my neck, Dalton School.
That's a man that you certainly have plenty of history with. In teaming together against each other, friend or foe, you and him have plenty of history. That could be a fitting final opponent as well. That's a good point. We'll stay tuned.
There's not much to say, but
well, we'll get to closing thoughts, and we'll put this up for the audience, and we'll put it up here as we go. And I'm going to pass the baton to you, Austin, and anything else you may want to say and close out the show with tonight. And I hope to get you on here one more time before your in-ring career, it seems like, comes to an end here in December.
I hope so too, Tom. I hope to talk to you again real soon.
Well, you can talk to me anytime, and hopefully you'll, be more successful in the in-ring column. But if you do want to follow Austin, you can check him out on Instagram. You can also follow BYCW on Instagram and YouTube. And yes, please support him. And to recap here one more time, the announcement is that Austin Edwards is stepping away for now, it seems like, of being an in-ring competitor as of the end of this year, December 2025. It remains to be seen on who will be his final opponent or who his final opponents will be. But the way to keep in touch with him until his in-ring career, for now, it seems, comes to an end, is to follow him on Instagram, support BYCW, and Austin Edwards is stepping away from the ring because of his personal struggles that we know that he deals with to get in ring shape, and also because of his growing family. We certainly want to give them big shout outs as well, his beautiful fiance and his daughter, so we can certainly understand where the silent assassin is coming from. So please support him. Please support BYCW. My friend, it is still your day, and we will forever honor you. And I can't wait to have you on here one more time before your in-ring career comes to an end. It seems like for now, and I would still love to see you take that BYCW Undisputed Championship and close out your career, in 2025 with it. And, James Taylor may hold the title, but if you get your chance, I tell you what, that's a story. I think that would be the perfect storybook ending, but we'll see if there can be that way. But my friend, thank you for all you do. Thank you for everything you do in representing BYCW and all wrestling matters. And I know you're going to get back on track in BYCW, and the farewell tour starts, it seems like, now. And thank you as always. Thank you for all that you do. And we'll see you here very soon.
Sir, you have a good one, Mr. Tom.
We will. That is the one and only Austin Edwards, the silent assassin, who one more time has recapped that his in-ring career is coming to an end at the end of this year. For now, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, we'll be back here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, with Riley Bates, the newest member of legendary Backyard Wrestling. So stay tuned for that. But until then, hit the sub button for us. Hit the sub button for BYCW, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one Global Radio, isn't it? Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.